What's going on, guys? Joseph from Main Show of Plants, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at this tank. Now, if you're not familiar with this tank, because it's been almost probably about a year, I would say, since I've done a video on this tank. This is the Wabikusa balls that I did, and this is the tank that it went in. Unfortunately, like many of the tanks in this back room, it just kind of got neglected and it needs some kind of rejuvenation and renovation to it. But we're going to do away with the Wabikusas just because those are a lot of maintenance from a perspective. Like, if you only have a couple of aquariums, they're not a problem. But because we have so many aquariums and so many projects going on, it's tough for me to keep up with this. And you do need to kind of keep an eye on it. So a lot of the plants kind of just died. Actually, all the plants died back except for some of the moss. But we're going to take out the Wabikusas. We're going to redo it a little bit different. We're going to kind of make it like a micro pond. So similar, like something like the paludarium tank. That stuff's coming up out of the water. We're going to do that and leave some open space here. And it's going to look cool, I think. But I got to take this out because it actually looks like there may be some mold growing on some of the moss that was in here. So I'm going to take it outside before I take the top off, just in case there is any mold spores. I want them just going into the open air instead of in my house. And then I'm going to take out the Wabikusas. I'm actually going to let the Wabikusas completely dry out and maybe reuse them in the future. And yeah, so let me, I'm going to go take this outside real quick, get rid of it, get rid of what I need to, and then we'll come back and figure this thing out. Alright, so I removed the Wabikusa balls and got them out of here. I'm going to shift all the sand this way because I'm going to actually plant most of the plants in the back area over here in the corner. And then I'm going to surround it with bigger rocks. And then around that is going to be these pebbles to kind of just create a nice little contrast. And yeah, so nothing really crazy is going on here. I'm just kind of shifting things. I'm going to plant some plants back here. I'm not even going to be adding any soil, at least I don't think so. I'm going to be using what the plants came in because they're, let me show you, they're quite big pots here. These are the pond plants that we typically get in, except these are the larger versions. So this is a 3.5-inch pot. Typically we sell 2-inch pots. But the 3.5-inch pots have quite a bit of soil here. So I'm just going to use this, and I'm going to just kind of line them up here in the corner and build them out from there, and then we'll see how it looks. And then I'll start placing the stones around them to kind of fill in. And we'll see what happens. But I'll get you guys up close and enjoy the time lapse. Alrighty, so here we are about a day later. I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little shot of what's going on with it. Now, there is some sediment here from either the old Wabikusa balls that were left in here or the dirt from these plants, what they were rooted in. I didn't change that out for aqua soil or anything like that, so the dust is kind of to be expected, the detritus. Now, I am running this filterless currently. I'm going to actually see, I wanted to test filterless setup and see how this does. And it may do alright, but I'm probably going to come in here at some point this week and siphon off all this. There's still, it's like a little bit cloudy. Tiny bit. So I don't want to just do a huge water change just yet. I want to give it like another day or so, and then I'm going to probably drain all the water out, try and siphon as much of this stuff out as possible, and then kind of fill it back up. So now I just wanted to go over the plants that I put in here because I know you guys are going to ask, and I just wanted to kind of go over them. So we have the mosaic plant here. This is a floating plant, really beautiful pond plant, and the idea, like I said, behind this, it is a pond, so we're going to try some pond plants. So it's a mosaic plant. It does usually require a lot of light to grow, but I put a couple stems in here, so we're going to see how it does. So far, they're doing really well. They actually are resting up on the top of the water, and actually, I put some over here in this tank, and you could see the same thing. So we'll see how they do. I hope they do well. And there is a lot of old leaves because their leaves are kind of very sensitive, so they broke off a couple leaves. I'll clean that up when I do a water change. I also added in here some Ludwigia SP Red. Now I just kind of tucked it in between the rocks to touch the dirt, and I think it should be fine growing. They've already risen up out of the water, and that's the idea behind this. They're not actually they are an aquatic plant, but I'm not using them for being underwater. I want them to actually grow up out of the tank here. And what my idea is like right now, this looks really bare in here, and I want to change that. So I think what'll happen is the Ludwigia will kind of overgrow and kind of really fill this in. So it's just a mass of plants, and that's kind of what I'm going for there. So next I have some moss. I forgot this kind of moss. I actually got it from my friend Kevin Kelly. So I'm not sure, he gave it to me while we were at Reefapalooza this couple weekends ago. He just didn't want it, so I took in that moss. It's not an aquatic moss, it is a terrestrial moss. We're gonna see how it does. I think it'll do all right, we'll see. Then we have this Dwarf Papyrus, and you can see here these are the blooms of the Dwarf Papyrus. Looks really cool. I really like this plant. We've also used it in the paludarium tank behind me as well. We have another one of my favorites, variegated water celery here. These will actually get pinks around the edges here. And then we also have some sweet, what is it, stargrass. That's what this is, stargrass. And I really like this plant. The flowers are beautiful. They have this beautiful white flower here. Now, just one thing to note, these are massive pond plants. I ordered bigger pots just because I wanted a lot of a plant to be able to fill in. Like I didn't want to have to order a bunch of 2-inch pots to fill this in, so I ordered like 4-inch pots. Now, they're very big. These are like fully matured kind of plants almost. They're going to die back a lot. I know that, like, these are grown, figure this, they're grown outdoors. They're not meant to be inside this room. Keep in mind there is a window right here, so they are going to get a decent amount of sunlight, but not nearly as enough as being outside in the sun. So what's going to happen is they are going to die back. They're probably going to get shorter. The newer leaves won't get nearly as tall, and that'll give a much better sense of scale. Right now, this huge plant mass is just throwing off the whole scale of things. So I would figure them to come back to probably about here when you know they start fully adjusting to the light. So most of these existing leaves and stalks will die off, and new ones will pop up that'll stay relatively shorter, and that'll give it a nice perspective. Now, I do want to kind of try, like I said, this filterless setup. If it doesn't work out, we're going to put slap a filter on here. I just can't find the one that I had originally for this tank. I don't know where I put it. So right now we're going to try filterless. I have no other option unless I order a filter and get it in a couple of days. But you know what? Everybody, I've been seeing a lot of people be doing filterless setups, and I really want to give it a try. So we're going to give it a try and see what happens. But I guess let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think of this tank, what you think about the plants and the setup. I mean, this is super simple. I didn't want to go crazy with it. I may add in some Anubis down here too, just to kind of fill in the bottom a little bit, make it look a little bit different. And yeah, I just really like it. I just need to clean it up a bit. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit that like button. As always, if you're new here, you could click that subscribe button to not miss any future videos. We'll do an update on this tank definitely probably within a month, just because I want to touch on the no filter setup and see how it goes. I may just have to do water changes like once a week on this to just keep it, you know, going. So yeah, so subscribe here if you're new. You could also click on either side of the screen to go watch another video of ours, and I will see you guys next time.